Hello and welcome to Youth in Sports, where every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. we feature special guests from near and far. The program is sponsored by ATI Physical Therapy, providing certified athletic trainers to more than 30 area high schools and colleges. First State Orthopedics, the team taking care of Delaware with a commitment to excellence. And Wilmington University, where Youth in Sports is produced by the College of Technology's students and faculty. And now, from the studio at President Jack Barcelona's Wilmington University, your hosts for Youth in Sports, AOSSM Mr. Sports Medicine 2012, Dr. Michael Axe, UD and St. Elizabeth's own Dr. Joseph Straight, and co-founder of Youth in Sports, Mr. Walter Laudine.
Good evening. Welcome to Youth in Sports. I'm Walter Laudine. Great show tonight, and a new co-host. We're Mike. Mike, where's Mike today?
I don't even know. He's just,
probably at some
didn't
great
show up.
picnic.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, he's out. He's out of town right now. So I'm Dr. Joseph Straight, and we have a guest host tonight.
I'm JT Laws from ATI Physical Therapy.
So we have an excellent show on tap. Actually, as spring comes, it's time for baseball, and we have with us Wilmington University's baseball program, head coach Brian August. He's also the assistant athletic director here at Wilmington University, and we have two of his players that are actually both native to the state of Delaware. We have Jamie Tremmel, who is a Hodson grad, and Frank Samlock, who is from St. Elizabeth's, my alma mater. So we'll get to you, Brian.
Well, this is a great show because I was just telling Brian. First of all, you said it's the spring. It's February, okay? I'm talking to these guys. They're playing their first game tomorrow.
I know.
Not only that, but
early and earlier and earlier. It seems.
Last night I went out. I had to go someplace with my wife. It was 25 degrees. Now, anybody that's played baseball knows when you hit a ball and it's 25 degrees, it hurts. I don't care how many gloves you have on.
Well, I don't know how they do it. I mean, throwing the ball, having to warm up,
it's
catching
terrible.
line drives, it's amazing.
And the rain. It's supposed to rain this weekend. Now, let's go. First of all, I want to talk about Brian August a little bit. He's been on the show. He's as old as, I think he's a year older than my son, and they played together, and I watched Brian play a lot. And I was telling him that I thought that he had all the criteria for a major league player. He could run fast, he could throw, he could hit, and he could hit for power. And
let me add to that. The one thing, I played against Brian many a times. I played with Brian a couple times, but the one thing was intelligence. He knew the game.
Well, I never saw that.
No one came inside and out. I mean,
he was saying,
and he had good support. His family was there, and they were all over the other team all the time. So Mrs. August out there.
Well, we're going to make sure that Mrs. August gets a tape of this show because we used to go live, and I'm sure his mom watched the show when we were live all the time. But now we're tape delayed, so this show will be shown Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And let's talk to Brian a little bit. Brian, when did you get started playing baseball?
I started when I was 6.
6?
Yeah.
T-ball?
T-ball, Newark National Little League. Came all the way up through that until I was 15. Then we jumped into American Legion Post 1.
American Legion, good ball.
Yeah, real good ball. Learned a lot. Got a lot of good experience in that.
Who was your coach in American Legion?
Tim Skirvin.
Yeah.
Tim Skirvin. We won 45 plus games in the 3 years, my 16, 18-year-old years. So we had a good program, got a lot of exposure against a lot of teams in different states and so on and so forth. Moving back before that, I went to St. Mark's High School. Obviously, had a lot of success there as well. We won a state championship my senior year in '94. I was fortunate enough to get drafted by the Orioles out of high school.
Tell us about that, Brian. Now, when you did your high school coach help you to get the information to the?
Coach Lemon.
And he was a great coach. Coach Lemon, great guy, great coach.
Unbelievable. They would obviously contact him. I think I got a lot of my exposure in the summer from the junior year before that, and maybe even the sophomore year before that. But they would come and watch it in your high school year. So.
Well, the trouble with Delaware, we're a small state, and we're kind of on the cringe of where they send the scouts. So consequently, if you're playing Legion ball, that gives you a much better. And anybody out there that's serious about playing baseball, they've got to play ball in the summer, and they got to play on.
I think that's one of the things. And Brian, just make sure I'm right. You didn't play other sports.
No, I played for 2 years, freshman, sophomore. I played baseball, basketball, and football. Then Coach Sibley, my basketball coach, told me I had to really buckle down academically a little bit, and said, if I was you, I would give up a sport, and obviously I give up football. I love basketball. We had a great basketball team over there at St. Mark's as well in all my years. I was still real close with Coach Sibley. But baseball was my thing. I mean, there's no doubt.
Now you had a pitcher.
We had 2 pitchers. That's what I was going to say about how the exposure also came out. We had 2 pitchers. We are fortunate to have 3 guys drafted my senior year, which, you know, in the state is obviously pretty impressive. Jamie Nichols was.
Now Jamie was on a bunch of times. I talked to his mom and dad. They were talking about his exposure, you know, to go to the minor leagues, and it was kind of tough for him. But who was the other one?
Rob Rakowski.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
They both actually signed out of high school. Jamie signed with the White Sox, and Rob signed with the Mets. But
I even got a Jamie Nichols. They sent me a card.
Did he?
Yeah, white card.
Tell me, is Jamie back in Delaware? Because, as we know, a lot of our Delaware athletes return back to Delaware.
Yeah, they're both here.
Robbie Borkowski,
they're both around. Yep, they're both around. I see them here and there. But, you know, I think that gave us a lot of experience. I mean, a lot of exposure at St. Mark's.
Right, they're coming to see everybody, right?
Yeah, every time they pitch, and then if you play well,
right,
you know, you get a chance as well. So.
Brian, what about one of the things that we learned and I learned when we were talking about the drafting experiences? For example, one of the things about baseball is that teams they don't like kids to go to college and play college ball, especially pitchers. They don't want them to touch college because
100%.
they get overused in college. Pros don't want that. So consequently, when you're negotiating a contract, a lot of times you can specify to the team that if anything happens, you get hurt, you don't make it, they're going to pay for your college education. Did you do that?
Well, I actually didn't sign out of high school. I opted to go to Delaware, and then I
went to University of Delaware.
Got drafted in after my junior year by the New York Yankees.
Whoa!
But when you flip back to that, both Rob and Jamie both signed out of high school, and they were both pitchers. I was an offensive guy. I think you have a better shot out of high school to make it in the minors.
Pitcher, right?
Yeah, because like you said, they're doing it. I mean, you're putting a wooden bat in your hand when you're 18 against guys that are throwing 90, 92. That's
that's tough.
You better learn how to hit quick. But now there's some guys out there like Bryce Harper's and people like that are obviously very, very special. But
and Kevin Mensch, we had him on the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But he also played college baseball.
He went to Delaware with me as well.
So
he did.
Another position player that elected to go to college and did very well in college, as we know.
I don't know if you didn't know this, but Kevin Mensch had the distinction of having the biggest head in the majors. Size 8. Biggest head in the majors. Okay? Not inside, outside. Maybe inside too, but great kid. We had him on the show.
Tell us how your experiences at Delaware baseball were.
Well, University of Delaware, I mean, that's what I was going to say. I mean, if I signed with the Orioles as an 18-year-old kid, I mean, I would have got beat up real quick. I'd been there maybe a year and a half, maybe. But going to Delaware, you know, I really matured, got a lot stronger. Coach Sherman absolutely helped me with my swing and the whole overall experience of knowing the game. You know, and we were very successful there. We went to the regionals every year there and got a lot of good exposure.
A good run at one point.
Yep.
So, remember. Yeah.
So what you're saying, Brian, is for kids out there that are position players, except maybe for a catcher, but a position player as opposed to a pitcher, you think it's much better to go to college?
It all depends what round you get drafted, what kind of.
Well, yeah, obviously if you get drafted in the first round, it's a little different story. You're talking about big money.
Yep.
Now let's talk about that if you don't mind. But when you were drafted as a junior out of Delaware?
Yes. And
how did that go?
So
did they talk to your mom? Did they talk to you? Did you have a lawyer, an agent?
Nah, you can't sign with an agent until you if you sign with an agent, you have to sign. So you can't have an agent.
Repeat that again. If you
sign with an agent, you have to go to pro ball. So you can't have an agent.
Come back for collegiate
season.
You
can't sign.
So you're saying I'm a pro.
Yes.
Okay.
So I mean, most of my negotiations were basically with my mom and with Coach Hanna and Coach Sherman, and obviously I trusted them.
So they all helped you. All the coaches helped you.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly was going back to school my senior year. I mean, we had a great team coming back, and the Yankees. I think I got drafted by the right team money wise for my round and all that kind of stuff.
What round was it?
18th round.
Okay.
Out of high school. Out of college.
What you played a bunch of positions. Mostly you played the infield.
But in pro ball, I played every position except catcher and center.
And that's what I thought. You could play any position.
Yeah.
What position do you think that the Yankees thought that was your best shot?
I think that's why they didn't know. Probably they thought I could swing it a little bit, and that's why they probably threw me around all the different positions. I came up obviously as a third baseman.
Well, you had a great arm.
Kind of hard coming up as a third baseman or a shortstop under who was there.
Right. I knew I couldn't play shortstop at the next level. They threw me out in left. They threw me out in right. They threw me out first a little bit, mostly because I was actually swinging the bat pretty well.
And that's a big deal.
They were just trying to find a spot, but it's a lot harder than you think. It's not like you have a good chance.
And we know how hard it is.
You know, it's there's a lot of good talent out there in the nation. People around here in this state don't really, I don't think, realize that all the way.
Well, tell us about your experience. Now you're sitting down, you're getting ready, you're going to sign with the Yankees. They draft you in the 18th round. You got your mom, you got the 2 coaches.
Got drafted on June 2nd, and I didn't.
Pretty happy day.
It was great.
Everybody.
Actually, my senior year in high school was probably better. We all got drafted on Friday, right before the state championship. Then we won the state championship. I graduated that Sunday.
That was kind of a good time.
That was pretty good weekend, I would say.
Right.
But, back in Delaware, I got drafted, I think, June 2nd. I didn't sign until July 3rd.
How come?
I was ready to go back. I mean, they gave me an offer that I wasn't crazy about, and there's nothing about that as much as how much I really love Delaware and love my coaches and my teammates, and I knew we had something special there. But then when they did offer me what they offered me, and like I said, there's probably no other teams other than the Yankees that would have get that in that round.
And you couldn't really refuse it.
I couldn't resist it, and it was tough. And like you said earlier in the show, I got all my college paid for as well. So I mean, and I went back every fall and finally graduated in 2001.
And that's an important thing. Anybody that's thinking about that, well, if they've got coaches or they've got people helping them, usually their parents, then they know this. But it's a good thing to remember that, hey, get your college education, because the average pro career is like 4 or 5 years. How long do you have to be in the pros, minor or major? And is it minor or major, where you're talking where your benefits kick in?
That's all big. That's all only big leagues. No minor leagues.
No minor leagues.
Absolutely not. Big leagues, you got to have.
So how long do you have to stay in?
10 years straight.
How long?
10 years straight.
That's a big.
It's very tough. People don't realize that.
And what about, like, for example, your insurance if you get hurt?
Well, yeah, we had minor league insurance and all that stuff.
Covered under work.
Oh yeah, exactly. We had all minor league stuff in that aspect, but
I want to know the big thing, and this is probably what people out there don't know. How about the traveling?
In minor league baseball?
In minor league baseball, that's what
you
I
get
hear
a per
all the
diem.
time.
Let's just say, well, you're talking about that, but he's talking about the distance. I mean, let's just say that I played in 3 leagues that weren't that bad in the New York Penn League, and then the Florida State League, as well as the Sally League. But if you look at the Blue Rocks, you got from the Blue Rocks in Wilmington all the way down to Myrtle Beach. It's pretty far ride back and forth. The Sally League has from Lakewood, New Jersey, all the way down to Georgia.
And most of the time you're traveling by bus?
Oh yeah, until you get to AAA. It's all bus. It's all bus. AAA has some flights.
Oh, we only got less than a minute left. I want to come back for a couple of things as far as the per diem and the fact that what divisions there are, AAA, A, and the whole bit. Interesting stuff, and especially kids out there, especially the 2 that are sitting right there. You never know. They might want to know. I don't know if they pick Brian's brain, but I do know that if they do get an offer, somebody like Brian's going to be a big help for him.
Definitely.
Because he's been there. And there's nothing like experience.
The experience of learning that and going through it is helpful. So we're
Clean
going
us up.
we're going to be right back. When we get back, we'll go back to Wilmington baseball.
I will keep dancing on point, even if it hurts.
My arm is killing me. I don't know if I can pitch another ball. But I'll just play through the pain anyway.
I have to do the big stunts. To look better than the other cheerleaders, our tosses are bigger.
My elbow really aches, but I've got to keep practicing.
Don't tell them it hurts. They'll take you out of the game if you do. I have to push harder if I'm going to get a scholarship. I'm feeling dizzy, but I don't want to tell anyone.
Everyone's counting on me. I can't rest now.
Nearly 50% of all sports injuries sustained by middle and high school students are from overuse. Don't play through the pain. See your healthcare provider and follow their instructions for rest and recovery. Take the pledge. Become an advocate for sports safety. Visit StopSportsInjuries.org.
Go team!
Welcome back to Youth in Sports. Today we're here with Wilmington University Baseball, and we just left talking with Coach and Assistant Athletic Director Brian August. And Brian, we want to come back to you. I know that we're talking about your experiences in the minor league system and the travel and the money that was given and things like that. But one of the questions that I want to turn over to JT was about your experiences and how it's changed you as a coach.
Yeah, Brian, you've been talking about your experience the entire time and just about how it's kind of shaped how you coach a little bit. So I was wondering, how does it actually change how you relate to these kids?
Well, I mean, I don't think I took a lot of playing pro ball of what I learned of that aspect, but most of my coaching has come through my experiences playing baseball and basketball at St. Mark's, and then obviously playing baseball at the University of Delaware. Coach Tom Lemon and Coach Sibley at St. Mark's really gave me the foundation and of what hard work is, what teamwork is, and understanding what's right and wrong in that aspect, and really build me as a 15 to 18-year-old kid. And when I went to Delaware, obviously that's a different level of really learning baseball and all that. But I take stuff from all them experiences that I had there. I think we live off hard work. I think our guys really bust their butts, and I think I'm pretty disciplined on them and tough, and I want them guys to be that way. But at the same time, I want them to be real good guys on and off the field and in the classroom, and we take pride in that kind of stuff that we do.
Before we get to your two guys, which we want two guys, sorry, tell me, how did you become coach at Wilmington? I mean,
yeah, well, right when I got done playing pro ball, Coach Hanna actually just retired that year, and Coach Sherman became the head coach. And obviously, I knew when you play 3 to 4 to 5 years in minors, if you're going to the big league. You kind of know. I mean, honestly. So, Yankees are very hard to make it to the big leagues with. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I love my experience. I have no regrets. But I made a decision, after my 4th year to move on, and a lot to do with my coaching career. And Coach Sherman, he gave me an offer to help them coach that year, be an assistant, and it was a very tough decision back then, obviously. But
you knew that was a stepping stone.
I knew it was where it got me right here now. So I actually coached there 1 year, and I graduated that same year from Delaware because I was going fall all the way through. And he offered to me. I coached there 1 year. I had a great experience. We went to the regionals. We beat Ohio State. Nick Swisher was on that team in Ohio State. So that was a good experience for us. The next year, I actually took a coaching job at Cecil Community College, which you might think is a step down from Delaware, but it was I also got an assistant athletic director job there. So more full time. Delaware wasn't full time.
So now you got another feather in your cap.
But that's what it sounds like. It actually got you from an assistant to a head, and it let you be in that position to see.
So I coached there for 4.5 years, I believe, 4.5 years. And then the Wilmington job opened up with an assistant athletic director job, combined to it, and I put in for it, and luckily enough, I got an opportunity to coach here and obviously work here full time. So that's how I got into it. And like I said, I think back when you're 18 years old and you ask somebody what do they want to do, nobody knows. But I wanted to do something with sports, and I really, I had some great coaches back in my past, and that really molded me, and I'm still close to them now. I mean, all of them came to my wedding and close to my family and all that. I mean, they're family to me. So
yeah, and all of them been on the show. They're great guys. Tom Lemon had a little jacket on, and he was sitting on the show. I had him as the co-host.
Yeah,
it was great.
Awesome.
It was a great show. Let me get back to one thing, and then I'll let you go, and I'm going to go to Jamie and Frank. But when you got drafted, you go to the minor leagues. Yankees draft you. Tell us about the setup.
Yep.
You went to what first? What grade?
If you get drafted out of high school, it's different than if you get drafted out of college on the levels that you have. There's a Gulf Coast League, short season Gulf Coast League, mostly for high school kids, and there's also a short season. I played in New York Penn League, which is more for college players. Then there's a mid-level A ball, which is the full season, and then a high-level A ball, which is the full season, which is Blue Rocks are. Then there's the double A ball, it's Reading Phillies, and then you got triple A ball, and now there's 2 leagues of everything in each thing. But every team, the Yankees have a Gulf Coast team, short season New York Penn League, middle A, high A, double A, triple A. So there's 5 teams in each
Do guys work their way up?
Some guys work their way up. I actually skipped a year because I did real well in New York Penn League. I skipped my way all the way up to High A, and then played 2 more years in High A, then went back. I mean,
and is the pay different?
Every year you play, you get a bump up, and every level you move up, you get a bump up. So, and they never go backwards. Even if you started up here,
you still keep your.
Yes, you can't go back. Even if you go down to this level, you're in your second year, you're in this level, and that's kind of how it is. And it's not a big difference. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
The money that people make is all about your signing bonus.
Do you at any point, Brian? Do you get an agent?
Yes, I got one.
You did?
Yes, and it was mostly. It wasn't for signing contracts and all that. It was for spikes and gloves and. So on and so forth.
Did he help you with that?
Absolutely. Helped my brother too. He helped a lot of people I know. So
that was great.
So
good experience with an agent.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Brother.
So how long did you stay in the minor leagues?
4 years. And 3.5. I mean, you want the first year doesn't count as a spring training, so they'll tell me 3 years because it counts as how many spring trainings you go realistically. And I didn't go to my first spring training because I got drafted in June. So
how many games did you play? Like a season?
Yeah, the first year played. I got drafted down. And then I only played because I signed late, so I would say 40 to then 100, and, I would say 350 games in my career. I imagine, something like that.
And what do you do in the off season? Do the Yankees still control you in the off season?
I just give you workouts, tell you got to come back to this weight, this strength, this, be in tip-top shape. Obviously, I tell my guys all the time when you're asking about how I get these guys. If you think that's going to be your job, you better do it every single day. You can't be having all kinds of job and go, you know what, I'm going to lift today. I think I'm going to throw today. I was full-time in Delaware working out. I mean, and that's how, obviously part of that program, I was with Cliff Brumball. I was with Kevin Mensch. And I know to us coming back there and working out with the team, that was great for them. I mean, I had guys that had to be doing it, but then I became that guy. Never missed a practice, never missed a weight room, never missed nothing. I mean, that was my life.
Greatest player you ever played with in high school?
Well, I mean, obviously it's easy to say Kevin Mensch, and he knows this fact. He really became real good at Delaware. He wasn't great at St. Mark's one bit. I mean,
did you say play with or played against?
Yeah.
Play against. Greatest player you ever saw, whether you played with him or against him?
In the state, that's a hard question. I mean,
what about college?
Delaware, I'd say Saul was probably Delino DeShields.
Great player.
Played with and against, and I'll be honest, and he's not just because he's here. It's probably this gentleman right here.
I told you he was a great player. I saw him play. What about in the pros? When you got in the pros, the minors, who was the greatest?
Well, there's guys in the big leagues now. I played against millions of them that are up there now in the minors and back. This guy's pretty good.
Impressed you?
I mean, I thought Lance Berkman was very good. I thought he was very good. I mean, he crushed balls in minors.
It's funny because I heard on the radio today a pitcher from the Phillies who they're down in spring training, and he said that his first pitch that he made in the 9th inning of a close game, Lance Berkman hit it so far and so hard he had never seen a ball hit like that, and it was actually caught at the warning track, and it made his day.
They're all good. Let me say that they're all good, and actually I got a good experience of playing Cape Cod up there in the summer, which almost every guy that I play with up there is in the big leagues now. It's amazing. So I mean, there's so many guys that you played against. I mean, I could sit home and my wife knows this and goes, "Oh, did you play against him?"
What about the best pitcher you ever faced?
Probably Matt Anderson. He was the #1 pick from the Tigers, and he blew his arm out. He was about 102. I mean, he was unbelievable.
That's another thing too. You get these kids that are pitching; they can throw fast. They can throw in the hundreds, but
injuries.
They can't stay down.
That's why he never actually. I think he made it to the big leagues maybe 1 year, but when I faced him in Cape Cod and the minor leagues, he was a difference. And I tell these guys all the time, if they're throwing 85 to 87, once a guy hits 90, that's fast. In the big leagues, I mean, in the Pro Bowl, everybody's 88 to 90, but once you see that 93, 94, that's a little different. Yeah. If you see 88, 90 all the time, there's no big deal. And I'm not saying there's no big deal, but you see it. When these guys see 85 to 87, and once somebody hits 90, you go, ooh, it's a little different.
Well, let's see what these guys think. Let's go first to Jamie Tremmel.
Yep.
Jamie Tremmel out of Hodgson.
Hodgson Tech, yes.
There you go. When you went to Hodgson, Jamie, what did you try? I mean, there's where you can try different things.
Like a career program?
Yeah. What did you?
I was in technical drafting, and it was more related to architecture and stuff like that. So,
was that the only one you did, or did you do another one?
Well, freshman year, they put you through a cycle, and you kind of feel out what you're really interested into. And I fell into that, and I really came to be really interested in it, and I still am. So.
Where did you start playing ball, Jamie?
Started playing baseball, 5 years old, Brookside Little League.
T-ball?
Yeah. Born and raised here in Newark, Delaware, so.
Same as Brian, Newark.
Yeah. So I've been around it all my life.
Where'd you play Little League?
I played at Brookside Little League.
Brookside, okay.
Yes.
Where'd you play, did you play Legion ball?
I played 1 year American Legion ball, and it was for VFW, but I mainly played a lot with Delaware Warriors travel baseball team. I played, I think, 5 years. So
sorry to cut you off. That's something new that when me and Brian played, we're about the same age, same year. That there was not travel baseball. It was more Legion ball, and you played each other, and you won. You went to regionals. Now, a lot of these organizations are coming together where they take a lot of the better players and they're playing out of state, which I think actually gives you guys a great experience against other people.
Exposure as well.
It does.
Well, Brian knows about this, but there's a lot of competition for good players, young good players. You don't know where you're going to play.
Right.
I mean, what do you tell them, Brian?
About where to go play?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm an old school Legion guy. I get mad because I want Legion to be better, but all the best players don't play in that league all the time, and
that's the problem.
All I tell the guys to do is play. I don't care where you play. Just go play. That's the only way you're going to get better, and you know, travel ball, and it is a big thing coming up now. So
Back to you, Jamie. Real quick, high school. What position did you play? Were you an all-stater? Give us the whole rundown of your high school career.
You was an all-stater.
Yeah, I was fortunate to have JT as an outfielders coach. I was also a pitcher. I think I started off in high school playing left field and made my way to center field by my senior year. I think junior year as well. 3 years straight, I made second team all conference. Obviously, the whole coaching staff was always a big help. My senior year, I finally made first team all state, both pitching and outfield.
That's awesome.
So I guess, I mean, it really paid off. I had a lot of really good guys ahead of me too. So I mean, it was always just getting over that hump and just getting to that next level, and they definitely helped, and definitely playing in the summer too as well helped a lot.
Well, we got 30 seconds left in this section, and we're going to come back to you because I'd like to know, and you can give us a little bit before we go, but how is it the transition from high school to college, and how did it work, and how did you decide on Wilmington, and you know, your experiences here? You're a junior, so we're going to come back in about 10-15 minutes here, or 10 to 15 seconds here, I'm sorry about that, and we'll be back with Wilmington baseball and Jamie Tremmel and Frank Samlot.
What does opportunity mean to you? At Wilmington University, it means providing a personalized educational experience where students learn anywhere at any time. Wilmington University provides a variety of ways to complete your degree. Choose the flexibility of online learning, or attend classes during the day, in the evening, or on weekends at locations throughout the region. It's your degree. Choose how you earn it. Personalized education, affordable tuition. That's the difference at Wilmington University. What does opportunity mean to you? At Wilmington University, it means finding an innovative degree program that fits your goals and prepares you for a successful career. It means finding a school that fits your life. We know the importance of providing individual attention, affordable tuition, and unparalleled flexibility in service. Because at Wilmington University, it's not about meeting your expectations, it's about exceeding them. Personalized education, affordable tuition, that's the difference at Wilmington University.
Welcome back to Youth in Sports. We're here with Wilmington Baseball, and as we left, we were talking with Jamie Tremmel, who is from Hodson Votech. He is a junior here at Wilmington University, and we're going to get to how he made his decision to come to Wilmington for baseball
but
and
not
education.
Only is he a junior, but he's the #1 pitcher on the Wilmington University baseball team. Is that right, Coach?
Absolutely, he's our ace.
And he's a lefty, which is a big deal. Everybody loves lefty pitchers. Is that right, Coach?
I love him.
Love him. and if you know why, you know,
Ball moves.
Ball moves.
A little bit different each time.
It's seen differently.
So Jamie, go ahead. Go with Jamie.
That's right. Go ahead and tell us. What made you come here?
Well, first started high school, definitely getting exposure through travel league with the Warriors. Also,
you played with the Warriors? Okay.
Yes, played with the Warriors for probably 4 years. Also, I did a few showcases, a lot of scouts there. I did one in North Carolina, TPX showcase, and I did another one at the Naval Academy, also another TPX showcase.
Oh, cool.
So got a lot of looks there and some interest. In the off-season, I'll be working out with Coach Negerbroga from Caravel. He was a really good coach.
Baseball guy. Yeah.
Yes, and obviously he, I guess, helped me get to that next level of really figuring out my stuff and really, I guess, progressing. So I guess it wasn't until my junior year I was really starting to buckle down and really focus on, I guess, picking college. Both, I mean, obviously my parents were really big on the educational part. And
did you want to stay in Delaware, Jamie?
Originally, I mean, I really wasn't looking in Delaware.
Didn't care?
I really didn't have a preference.
What were some of the schools?
Some of the schools, Rider University in New Jersey, University of Delaware, some interest from Palm Beach Atlantic University in Florida.
Nice warm area.
Yeah.
Go down
North Carolina, Wesleyan, a school out in California too, Monterey Bay. I think they're a Division II.
What made you choose Wilmington?
Ultimately, I mean, just the program. I mean, I really, honestly, I didn't know a lot about it until I really visited and we walked around and really got to know the program and how serious everything was taken here, and it was definitely.
Well, obviously, you talk to coaches, and coaches are like snake oil salesmen. When hey, you're going to be my #1 guy. You're going to start right away. You're going to play for 4 years, and it's all crap because they want you to come. They want you to sign. Now, you talk to Coach August. Obviously, you liked him. You liked what he had to say. Did he have? Was he a factor in saying, hey, I want to play for him?
Definitely, yeah.
Because you knew where he'd been.
Yeah, I knew. I obviously did my research with him and really knew where he was before, and he had a really good background, and he was a really straight shooter when I first met him, and really told me.
Didn't give you the typical bully. And you've had it. I mean, you've had the coaches.
I've talked to several coaches.
Yeah, you're going to do this. You're going to do that. And
so
I'm
it really
sure
gave
you
me
want to hear it too.
Yeah, really gave me a good outline of what to expect. Gave me a good financial opportunity with scholarship. So it was definitely what was drawing me in, and majoring in business also was kind of helping. So
now, how many games will you play for Wilmington U?
In a season, for the team is
52.
Roughly 52.
Regular season.
And now you're starting tomorrow.
Yeah, starting tomorrow in New Jersey. So
wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough adjusting to the weather.
That's tough for a pitcher. Wouldn't it be tougher for a pitcher, Brian?
I think it's tougher for hitters.
You think it's tougher for a hitter?
Well, I don't think they want to swing the bat in the cold, and I think these guys can actually stay warm. Now, granted, if we're up there hitting, and he loves this if we scored 5 or 6 runs in an inning, but at the same time, he wants to get back out there because he wants to stay warm. But I think it's harder for a hitter. Some of these guys don't want it. If you don't hit the ball right on the barrel,
oh yeah, it hurts.
But at the same time, some of these pitchers have a hard time getting loose and staying loose. And
are you using aluminum bats?
We're all wood. No,
you're all wood.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, we switched.
When did you switch?
4 or 5 years ago.
2009.
Yeah.
Now, who pays for the bats?
Wilmington University. I mean, our athletic budget.
Okay.
We get a lot of support.
Wow,
So
that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Now, when you're not pitching, Jamie, are you playing?
No, I'm just relaxing.
See, well, that doesn't happen in college level usually.
Yeah, obviously there's a DH, so I won't hit and I won't play the field.
Were you a hitter?
I did come here as a dual player, but I mean, I guess once I was kind of instilled in more of a starting pitching role.
Is that good for you?
I mean, I guess so. I guess you could say, but
I think every athlete out there knows that if they can hit, they want to hit. Trust me, I know that Major League
not in February 20th.
They still want to hit.
Yeah.
But
knowing Jamie as the competitor he is.
Right. He's a competitor, right?
And he probably could. And I talked to him about this. He knows everybody comes in. A lot. When I say everybody, every one of our pitchers, I guarantee to hit in high school. Every single one of them. And he obviously was an all-state.
The best athlete. You know, from Little League on up there.
Not now, though, for some reason.
Well, they're the shortstop. It seems like they're the shortstop and they're the.
No, you're right. You're right. Coming up, it is. But he could hit here, and I had a good talk with him. I think after fall ball, I believe. And I said, listen, man, you got a good chance, and you want to be, it's hard to find these kind of guys. And he came in, and there's another thing that he probably did. He came in the fall. He wasn't, he was just a number 5, 6 starter. I mean, if that, he was fighting for it. And he did everything right, and he was real smart, and he worked his butt off, and the next thing you know, he was our number 3, 9-1 as a freshman. I mean, behind 2 very good pitchers. So, and then last year as a sophomore, jumped right up to because they both graduated, he jumped up right to the number 1 spot last year.
Good for you.
Had another great season, and we obviously expect.
Well, obviously he's the man tomorrow.
He's the man tomorrow.
Wow.
So, Amy, what have you been doing in the off season? I know you from the past and how much work you put in, but what did you do this past off season?
Well, I had a little bit of a setback this year just because I had a little hamstring injury, so that kind of slowed me down a little bit. But definitely just working, I guess, going in before Christmas break, definitely getting in the weight room. Competition in the weight room is definitely what is really, I guess, sets certain athletes apart. And I really think getting after it and doing stuff like that is definitely what has helped me get to where I'm at right now. And definitely working with tweaking my mechanics. Definitely, I think, one of the biggest things is just watching upper level guys do what they do. Trevor Bauer, Dylan Bundy, all guys not that much older than me, just seeing what they do, how they've become so successful, and really just seeing what works for them.
Anything else out there diet-wise? Have you done anything different?
I haven't eaten fast food in 6 months. I was living down in Alexandria, Virginia, playing in the Cal Ripken Summer Baseball League, and
which is a pretty pristine league down there.
I guess it was beginning of August or end of July, and I really just had no taste for it. I saw that. That was the next step. I really just improving my diet definitely has helped. So.
Well, Brian, like a pitcher, won't have the same weight regimen as an outfielder, infielder, or a catcher. What is the difference?
We try to actually, I thought it was different back in the day, but now we try to do pretty similar stuff because.
Are they doing repetitions as opposed to weight?
We change it every 2 weeks just about. We do some high reps, we do some heavy weights with low.
Yep.
We mix it up pretty good. I think our guys did a great job.
Well, like a pitcher.
What'd you put on, 12 pounds? He got a lot stronger. He weighs 190.
Pitcher, like legs are real important.
Well, very much. It's the core of both. It's the core. It's same as a shortstop or the pitcher. It doesn't really matter, but they all throw, and I think we got to. I think we do a real good job. Like you said, our competition, our team is pretty fit. I can tell you that.
Before we move on to Frank, I think that you said a big word there, core, and I think that this is one of the things I'm preaching to my patients with back pain and things like that. I think even our college athletes.
We were preaching on the show about core 20 years ago when people, like we're saying,
I didn't know that word.
Yeah, it was the most important thing.
It was not well known, but now I think that is it. They're talking about it in golf and hitting the ball further. And
well, you see these guys that they're playing golf at 30 and they're hurt. Their backs are hurt because they don't have a good core, and they never did when they played.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we've always talked about and was relating that lower body to your upper body, and the only thing that connects the two is the core. So keeping it up.
Well, we're going to move on to Frank Samlock.
Before we get to Frank, I want to ask you one more question, Jamie. Do you work out all year? Do you throw all year?
For the most part, yeah. There's.
How often do you throw in the off season?
It all depends really, but I definitely try and. I'll shut it down a little bit towards August, but once September hits, I'll really get back into it, and it's been working, so I really haven't had any soreness or anything like that.
And what we know is today's athlete is a 12-month athlete. No more off-season.
He throws. He basically takes off from August to September, and then again after Thanksgiving to almost about the first of the year, throwing-wise.
Throwing-wise.
A little bit of a break from throwing, but still the exercise, the diet, and all the fitness.
That's 12 months a year.
So Frank, tell me, I'm a St. E's kid, and I know you are. So, how'd you get into baseball?
I grew up playing baseball. My family is really baseball core. My grandparents got it into my parents, and my dad taught me ever since I was 5.
Brothers and sisters?
Oh, yeah.
How many?
I have a brother and 3 sisters.
They all play sports?
Yep. My brother played football in high school, but he played baseball growing up, and all my sisters played softball. So. Now,
you went to St. Elizabeth, and you played baseball, and I still hear you like snowboarding.
It's a fun hobby. For the off season.
Just like Jamie's a surfer dude. So we got 2 cool sports here beside when you're not playing ball. But I see that it looks like you concentrated on baseball.
I played football and baseball, but baseball was I mean, they were almost equal in high school. I mean, played baseball in the spring, football in the fall, kind of lift for both in the winter. And
did you play any extra baseball, like Legion or travel?
I played Legion. I played travel ball for the Delaware Bears. It was a smaller team. Then I played Legion for Middletown Post for 2, maybe 3 years.
What Little League did you play for?
Started at Newark National for T-ball.
Another Newark kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then moved to Canal, Little League.
Canal.
And then
Canal's got a great program, great fields down there.
Oh, yeah.
In northern Delaware, we're always impressed when we go down to Canal and Newark. The fields would be so much better. It used to really irritate me. We only got a couple of minutes left in this segment, Frank, but how did you pick Wilmington University?
Well, playing for St. E's, I played for Tom Betta, and he's from around here. He knows all the colleges.
Show.
Reggie Lewis was the main recruiter pretty much for here, and he worked with us a lot, and he pretty much drew me into Wilmington, and I didn't really want to look anywhere else.
From an educational standpoint, what are you doing here at Wilmington?
I currently own my own business. I started it last summer.
Nice. What's your business?
Property maintenance, like landscaping, trying to get that going. So
here's the start of a millionaire.
That's great. That's exactly when it started.
Not that $1 million is worth anything anymore, but here's the start. When you see all the businesses, kids, mowing grass, stuff like when you see a kid do that, you know he's a motivated kid.
That's the thing. That energy,
I love
that drive,
I love it.
Probably flips
you don't
over
see
into
that
baseball.
many of them either. What would you like to do down the road? We only got less than 30 seconds. We're going to get back to you, Frank, when we come back. But that's very interesting, and I love your work ethic. And that's important. That's important. Because we're going to ask you the question that Dr. Axe likes to ask, like, when you become a millionaire, will you give money to Wilmington University? And with that thought, we'll be back in 3 seconds with the Wilmington University baseball team and their coach and assistant athletic director right after this.
I know they never make me play with these guys, but why do they make me train like them?
Training hard is important, and for professional athletes, it's their job. But kids aren't professionals and shouldn't train at that level. Keep kids safe on the playing field and out of the operating room. Become an advocate for sports safety. Visit StopSportsInjuries.org.
All right, we're back on Youth in Sports. We're talking to the Wilmington University baseball team with their coach and assistant athletic director, Brian August, who is a great player in his day and played minor league ball, was drafted by the Yankees, and he's got 2 prospects here. One is Jamie Tremmel, who's a left-handed pitcher, #1 man, who will start the first game of their season tomorrow against the New Jersey team, right?
Well, we're playing against a New York team in New Jersey.
New York team in New
St. Thomas
Jersey.
Aquinas.
And we got Frank Samlock, who is can play them all, and he's from St. Elizabeth, and we were finishing up with him. Frank, we talked about you having your own business. You just started it, and it's a single entity with just you, right?
Yep, so far.
And what are you as far as years in Wilmington?
I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore, so
Yes.
you just kind of, did you start as a freshman or?
Yes, I was grateful to be not redshirted and start as a freshman and get some playing time. And really
That's
learn
great
some
because
experience.
people don't know redshirt is when you lose a year of playing, but you don't use a year of eligibility. It's a college rule, which they kind of use it for themselves. What about what steered you to Wilmington University as far as other schools you looked at? What other schools you look at?
I was looking at Wesley for a dual sport, football and baseball, but I mean that's a really tough thing to do in college.
It is when you're trying to keep your marks up.
Absolutely, and it was either Wesley or Wilmington, and I chose to pursue baseball, and it's been great ever since. So.
Did you want to stay in Delaware?
Preferably, yes.
Preferably?
I'm very family oriented.
So they can do your laundry and give you extra money. It's always a big asset, right? It's always a big asset.
There's nothing wrong with it either. Many of us did that.
What about, what do you foresee in the future? Would you, as far as your baseball career and your professional career, being that you started your own business, what are you thinking about down the road?
Well, I mean, I'm going to work as hard as I can in baseball and keep working hard every day, and whatever happens, happens. And if not, I have a backup plan with my company and try and get that pretty big throughout the state. So.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's a great plan.
What positions did you play in high school, and any awards, anything like that?
Yeah, all state.
I played
well.
Shortstop for baseball and pitched, and for football I was a quarterback. So.
There you go. I mean that. And that's the exact, Brian, you said that that's not the case anymore. It's always been the case when I've seen, you know, my son's years and after that.
Shortstop pitcher.
Shortstop pitcher.
Yeah. That's what everybody
and
did,
they could hit.
like.
Yep.
They could hit. So, and now he's the quarterback too, so you know he can throw because he's playing shortstop, he can throw.
And I'm guessing that's how you became a quarterback, because I was a baseball player at St. Elizabeth's and played second, short, and pitcher, and they made me the quarterback.
Yeah, growing up playing football, I was always quarterback, and it just kind of stayed with me. So
you didn't mind giving up football?
No, I mean,
basically, if you're going to go to college, you know, you got to learn, and your schedule here, how does it affect your academic?
It works itself out. I mean, it's definitely a lot of work. Baseball is a lifetime commitment. I mean, it's year-round, and you got to be willing to do that. But school plays a part. I mean, the schedules work out. You just got to learn how to adjust. Now,
being that your first game is tomorrow, when did you start practice? When are you allowed to start practice for college baseball?
February 8th.
February 8th?
I mean, January 8th. Sorry.
January 8th.
This is our sixth week, right?
So then you're starting tomorrow, which is what, 22nd?
Yes. 22nd.
Okay, so you're starting the 22nd. How long will your season go?
Till the end of May.
End of May.
Maybe early June.
So you're talking 40, 50 games?
52 regular season.
52 regular season.
And we're going to see postseason.
Yep. Yeah, what's the postseason regimen for Wilmington U?
We play conference tournament. You got to win the conference tournament. That's a 16 tournament. In 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5 in a single elimination. Then it turns into a double elimination 4-team tournament. Moves at Blue Rock Stadium. We've hosted it all 9 years I've been here. If you win that, you go to the regionals. We've been in the regionals the last 4 out of 5 years here, and we haven't been able to bust through that to get to that World Series yet. But you know that's.
And where is the World Series?
Cary, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yes.
Okay. So how, if suppose you go all the way to the World Series this year, and hopefully you will, when will that end your season?
That's Saturday, right before Memorial Day, or of Memorial Day weekend is the World Series championship.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's not that much longer, but it involves travel. Now, who would Wilmington pick up that tab to travel to?
Yeah, we once you get into the postseason, it's all championship budget. So once we even get to the conference tournament or the regionals or the World Series, that's all championship. NCAA championship, they reimbursements.
So they add money in on top of
you pay for it, and then they pay back. They reimburse you through everything. So.
What really surprised me though is the wood bats, which I think is great because you know if you're going to go somewhere after this, that's what you want to do.
Is that the entire NCAA?
Nah. It's kind of confusing. Our region does it. Our region does it. I don't
they
really have
voted on it.
They voted on it. We have three conferences that do it. We play about 35 games in wood, and then we play about 15, 17 in metal. All the PSAC teams being Westchester, Kutztown, Millersville, that whole league. Any Division I's, Delaware. If we play down in Florida, we play Berry, Lean. That's all metal back games.
Wow.
Our whole conference tournament is wood and bat. Our whole regional is wood and bat. But if you get to the World Series, it's back to metal. So it is very
right?
confusing. So
That's kind of weird.
Well, out there, everybody out there, they've changed the metal. It's a different type metal,
Terrible.
correct? It's a composite type metal.
Terrible. It's not even close to what it was. Our guys actually, when we play Westchester, Kutztown, sometimes ask me, "Can we use wood?" And obviously, I always say no. But it is different. I mean, them old -5 bats, and them metal bats where you could hit a lot more balls up in the trees, and you could crush them. So
but the new bats are not.
They're not very good because they didn't want the impact coming off the bat as much. People getting hit in the head, and people doing this and people doing that. So, like you said, for the next level, it really teaches guys how to find that barrel, because in metal bats you can get a lot more cheap hits off the hands or off the end.
Oh,
wooden
sure.
Bats, you got about 4-inch
did not know
sweet
that.
spot. And these guys really learn how to hit, I think, a lot better. They shorten their swings up and so on and so forth. So.
Frank, what about you when you go from the wood to the metal? I mean, that's got to be different for you. You've grown up with metal, so now you're got wood, and now you got to change for a couple of 15 out of 50 games.
I actually prefer wood.
Really?
Yep, I've grown into it. I prefer to swing it, but when you go to metal, it's not a terrible adjustment. You get jammed and you don't really feel it. It's kind of nice, but wood is preferable.
Is there any shot of using the old metal bats when you play? Umps check that out real good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The other teams know.
The other team checks it out. Right?
If we could, I'd probably sneak one in there.
Oh, sure.
Nah, these other teams, you wouldn't be able to sneak it in there. There's no way.
What's the biggest difference for you, Frank, facing high school players, especially pitchers, and now facing the college guys? Was it a big deal for you when you first came?
Yes, absolutely. The skill level is completely different. You usually have a 1-2 pitch, maybe a good changeup. It's usually fastball, curveball in high school. And you move to college, they have 3-strike pitches that they can throw for a strike anytime. You got to always be on your toes.
Is it safe to say, and I'm just going back to a long time ago, but you have maybe like 3 or 4 stud pitchers throughout the state during the year that when you're batting, you're like, okay, I got to really work hard here. Now, every pitcher that you're facing is one of those stud pitchers, as we're finding out.
As you go, like with Brian, then you're facing the stud of the stud, Like whenever he says, oh, yeah, I made the all-star team, every one of these kids is an all-star.
Right.
It goes on and on. And it's amazing. Have you guys, do you play on any artificial fields?
We will this weekend, yeah.
Really? Well,
several times, several occasions.
Amount, actually,
Our conference has about 5 teams in it, actually, that have.
Cool. What about you, Frank? Do you like fielding on artificial surface as opposed to?
It's nice.
Nice, huh?
It's true bounce every time. You can't beat it. So.
It doesn't really affect you that much, does it, Jamie?
It does. I'm throwing off, and the mound is actually turf. This field that we play.
Oh, really?
So yeah, you got.
The mound is turf.
There's no dirt on this field.
None. No. So.
The mound is artificial.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell does that? Yeah.
They put like one of the mounds that we kind of have that we throw off of, in our gym and outside and whatnot, underneath the turf, and then the turf's tight kind of to it.
Wow.
It is a big adjustment. Some of the fields we play on in our league have dirt mounds and dirt plate. Some of them just have dirt mound, turf plate, and this one has all turf. So it is an adjustment of that. You are allowed to wear spikes and all that. So that kind of. It is stuff.
And you haven't noticed any increase in injury? Because I know that's the biggest thing that we talk about with football, the change in the turf is the cause of an injury. Have you had any?
We haven't had any.
Great.
Yes.
What about Frank, Jamie, for you, as far as pitching off one of those mounds? Is that a big deal, or is it
it's definitely an adjustment. You think about it, you can relate it back to football. Your foot can get stuck in the turf.
Right.
It really makes you think.
Would you not wear spikes, or would you wear?
I'm going to wear spikes tomorrow, but you definitely think about it more if you're better off wearing just like a turf sneaker or a spike. But I think you're more better off with a spike.
One thing I tell you, when you do youth in sports, not only do you learn something every time.
This is the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't heard of a lot of this stuff. But it makes you the ultimate player because you're playing on different surfaces, different times. We only got 2 minutes left on the show. It went like hell because we had a great guest. Any guys want to say anything that we haven't talked about?
Come out and support.
Pardon? Yeah.
Come out and support.
That's what I wanted to ask Brian. We're heading into, this is your
Ninth year.
Exactly. Support from the school?
We get great support from the school.
Donators at all?
I got a lot of guys that played here that are friends of mine and stuff that really support. We got a lot of former players and whatnot that support, but we do. Like Jamie said, I think coming out of high school, I don't think a lot of the high school kids really know what we're doing. They are more. We're getting a lot of, but these guys are both local guys, and I love the in-state. I'm an in-state guy myself, so I want to blow this up to the in-state thing. Obviously we're competing with Delaware State and Wesley, but if we got a good thing going over here, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Well, to ask Mike's question, what about you two guys? If you both become millionaires, would you give to Wilmington University, and would you give to the sports program? And
hands down,
would you give to Brian?
Absolutely.
Yeah, got to contribute back to what built you up. So.
Well, it's obvious you're having a good experience, and it's obvious that Brian's doing a good job. You guys, what's it look like for this season, Brian? We only less than 30 seconds.
The outlook's
good.
Well, it's promising. I mean, we've been knocking on that regional door for the last, Jamie's last 2 years, Frank's last year, and our hopes are high. So
how can people get tickets?
There's no tickets. It's free admission.
It's important out there, so get out there and support Wilmington University baseball. It's the homegrown gentleman
talent,
now,
right.
I would say kid, but gentleman now who has come back from many years of experience in professional baseball, UAD grad, and has done a very nice job here, Brian. So.
And we want to wish you guys the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And next week we're off on Youth in Sports, but there'll be a show on Tuesday. So good night.
What does opportunity mean to you? At Wilmington University, it means finding your relevance in the job market. That's why we offer career-oriented degree programs that meet employment needs in emerging fields. Dedicated professors bring their real-world experience into the classroom so you'll graduate with the tools you need to succeed on the job. It's your degree. Make it relevant to your career. Personalized education, affordable tuition, that's the difference at Wilmington University.
This show was sponsored by ATI, the company taking physical therapy to a higher level throughout the country. First State Orthopedics, where Youth in Sports hosts Drs. Straight and Axe are members of the team taking care of Delaware with a commitment to excellence. And President Jack Barcelona and his Wilmington University College of Technology, where each semester this student-run program is produced, directed, edited, and distributed under the guidance of the TV production faculty. Each guest receives a copy of the show, and all shows are available on the web at youthinsports.com.